This video will be short on jokes because the topic isn't very humorous. And for anyone watching outside of the UK, please be aware that now in Great Britain, the police are monitoring social media, looking for anyone criticising the mass uncontrolled illegal immigration coming to this country and anyone criticising the government's policies relating to it. Therefore, in this video, I'll be being deliberately vague and everything will be allegedly. You see, there are allegations that in the UK, we have two-tier policing, two-tier justice, and an emerging two-tier society, with hard-working Brits and hard-working people who've come to this country legally from other countries, paying our taxes to support people who've come here illegally with no intention of ever working, well, not working legally anyway. Also, an increasing number of people who don't work, who all follow the same religion. Now, a couple of examples of two-tier, I'd say two-tier justice, alleged two-tier justice. A British man printed off some stickers that said, "It's okay to be white." That was deemed as racist, and he's spending time at His Majesty's pleasure. Yet recently, a Muslim gentleman who hurled missiles at the police avoided a custodial sentence. Which of those two crimes is the most severe? And I find it odd that the funding is available for a special police squad to monitor social media, but there's no special police squad to investigate Pakistani Muslim rape gangs, or Hamas supporters, or to combat anti-Semitism. We don't even have a special police squad to secure the fucking borders. But now a TikTok has emerged which allegedly shows how blatant two-tier policing is. And I want to be clear here, I'm not blaming the coppers in the upcoming clip. They're just doing their jobs. The issue will be with the higher-ups, the woke bastards who run the police service. Now, asylum seekers, there aren't any asylum seekers in the UK. If they've come here from Calais, they're not fleeing fucking war, they're economic migrants. Asylum seekers are not permitted to work in the UK until their asylum claim has been processed. But we know many of the Islamist jihadis who've come here illegally are working illegally as food delivery riders. Strong language coming up.
Shame on you! Not really, mate. Protect him. Don't touch him. Don't touch me, mate. Protect him. Who the fuck you pushing? Why are you pushing people? You know, that's what they said about the Nazis. They were just doing their job. Oh, that's alright then. Let's all let the staff eat well. We're all out here. Fucking look.
Cunt, you won't do that, will ya? You won't do that, will ya?
Allegedly, the gentleman on the push bike is coming out of a migrant hotel. And from the people around the hotel, we can be pretty certain that's what it is. So, the way that man entered the country was illegal. Him working as a food delivery rider is illegal. And because he's working on the black market, he isn't paying tax, which is illegal. Yet the police are happy to escort and protect an undocumented criminal. Now, the comparison in that clip to the Nazis, that's odd because usually it's the far left screaming that. And like I say, the police are just doing their job. However, it appears, this isn't a statement of fact, it appears that those officers are actively facilitating the carrying out of crimes. And tensions are rising in this country by the day. Because the people coming here in the boats, they aren't the great and the good. These are the people that the third world don't want. And this is a serious point to the video. Recently it emerged that allegedly Warwickshire police had instructed local councillors not to reveal the nationality or asylum status of two men who've been charged with, they haven't been convicted, charged with raping a 12-year-old girl. Both of these men are Afghans. And if you cast your mind back a few weeks, there was the whole scandal that successive British governments have been flying in thousands of Afghans in secret because of a data breach. So they're concerned about the safety of Afghans who could be under threat from the Taliban, yet they don't seem to give a shit about little girls. And although there are people of all races and religions who do terrible things to women and children, it does appear, in my opinion, that there's one religion, the death cult, sorry, not the death cult, the religion of peace, which has more of a problem than others. We'll start off by seeing a British man with his attitude to women and children.
I'm talking about 12 and 13-year-old girls who were groomed and raped. You're talking... Yeah. Right, so where's the nakedness about paedophiles coming from?
You're against... I'm speaking
Can you control yourself around children? Do you control yourself around children? There's a naked child. Can you control yourself not to rape them?
It doesn't have to be about...
Can you control yourself around a child?
It's not about...
Can you control yourself around a child?
The environment we're in.
Can you control yourself around a child?
Listen, can everyone?
Can you?
Can this whole country?
Can you?
Can this whole country?
You have to control yourself.
Is it just me, or is it everyone else?
Every man.
It's not just me.
Every man.
Control
yourself. Control yourself.
How do you know what's inside their heart? How do you know they're controlled?
We don't have to know.
Do you believe this man here is controlling himself? How do you know what's going on inside his heart?
If you can't control yourself...
So how do you know if I'm controlling myself or not? If it's in my heart.
You're not raping anyone.
So what are you saying? Hang on. So what do you...
Yeah.
Hang on.
But what about the desires? So you don't believe the desires are inside?
Paedophile, mate! Raping kids!
Don't believe,
Raping kids!
Even
I just want you to continue to justify paedophilia for us all. For us all. For us all.
From his accent, I'm guessing he was born and raised in this country, but he doesn't understand British values. He just keeps avoiding the question. Can you control yourself around a child? That isn't difficult. I can, but then I haven't been raised to believe that the holiest man who ever lived was also a nonce, an illiterate mass-murdering warlord and child molester. Now let's see another gentleman who's a bit more excitable.
People try to tell me that we want equality for women. I've never heard so much rubbish in my life. Today, a woman, the closer she is, the more she is like men, then the more honored and liberated she is. Allah says no. Allah says the more you are like the way I created you, like the way I designed you, like the way I fashioned you, then the more honored you are. Allah says I love you just the way you are. Allah says I don't want you to be anything more than that which you are not.
I love you just the way you are. I thought Billy Joel wrote that. Apparently it's in the Quran. And I don't take a man with a doily on his head screaming and ranting seriously. How much rage has he got? His open contempt towards women and girls. In my opinion, there is no place for that in civilised society. And his line? I don't want you to be anything more than you are not. So grammar isn't his strong point either. Now, I'm using my right to freedom of speech under Article 10 of the Human Rights Act. In my opinion, two-tier policing is a threat to this country. Illegal immigration is a threat to this country. Radical Islam is a threat to this country. We are being invaded and infiltrated. There are now more illegal immigrants than personnel in the British Armed Forces. So, as I wander along, here's a list of the current Muslim mayors here in the UK. A tiny population putting itself into positions of power. And of course the current Labour administration are terrified of losing the Muslim vote. They depend heavily on it. However, I think they'll lose most of their vote at the next election anyway, because there's a new political party which is designed to appeal to the anti-Bacon brigade. Started by Zara Sultana, a disgraced Labour MP who seems to think that Gaza is in her constituency, and Jeremy Corbyn, the former leader of the Labour Party, who is allegedly on first-name terms with several terrorists. I think that's where the vote's going to be going. Also, saying that Jeremy Corbyn is on first-name terms with terrorists, there is historical proof for that. He was quite pally with Jerry Adams and Martin McGuinness, and he's referred to Hamas and Hezbollah as our friends. But I'll put an allegedly on there just in case. And then we have the idiotic woke lefties, the counter-demonstrators, the people who'd go to a migrant hotel and start screaming Nazis and racist at everyone who's concerned about children in their community. We'll now see one. This guy's scary. That man appears to be quite openly preparing for violent conflict. Let's see if he gets nicked. Anyway, if you made it this far in the video, well done, because I'm sure that was a hard watch. It wasn't fun to record it. Anyway, that's the end of this video, mercifully. If you enjoyed it, fuck knows why you would have done, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you could like or comment on the video, but don't share this one, that helps the algorithm. If you would like to support me in making these videos, there are links in the description to buy me a coffee and to my Patreon, and as ever, thanks for watching. This video will be very short on jokes, because, fuck that up already, 4 seconds. It's another windy day here in England, so I'm on my same 20 to 30 feet where I'm out of the wind. Forgot the line. Shit. So that man's British, going by his accent. So he's grown up in this country, but hasn't understood any of... I'll fucking start again. Well, he seemed rather angry. It does say a lot when he makes members of the Westboro Baptist Church look calm and reasonable. Got Billy Joel in my head now. If you made it this far, well done. I will go back to doing comedy videos later in the week.